The artist I chose was Bryan Collier. Bryan grew up in Pocomoke, Maryland. He was the youngest of six children. He was really encouraged at a young age to read and to write, both at school and at home. He really enjoyed the stories that he read, but what he really loved about reading was the illustrations. As he grew older, he began to start painting. He really loved to paint just the world around him. He liked painting the bay that he grew up by and the ducks in the bay and everything like that. The more he painted, the more he developed a different style of painting. He first was using watercolors, and then the more he used those, it kind of progressed into a collage. He was placing different sketches with watercolors with other sketches of watercolors, creating this collage. He once said collage is more than just an art style. Collage is all about bringing elements together. Once you form a sensibility of connection and how different elements relate to each other, you deepen your understanding of yourself and of others. So he's really passionate about this style of art that he uses. His book, Uptown, is a perfect example of showing his usage of watercolors and collages. This book was actually used with watercolors. That's just an example of the illustrations. My favorite example in this book of his usage for a collage would be this one. The reason why this one is my favorite is because the women, they are so much closer. Well, they look so much closer than what's in here in the background. And that's just from him taking the sketches of the women and putting it on top of the sketches of the background and the buildings. Doing this, it just gives the illustrations a lot more texture. Now, while he was in college, he volunteered at the Harlem Horizon Studio in the Harlem College. He volunteered here for about 12 years. During that time, he felt a real deep responsibility for these kids. He really wanted to keep them from negative influences. He gave these children a really great appreciation of art, and that's just what really inspired him to go forward with his children's books. He's won several awards for his books. He is a 3-time runner-up for the Caldecott Medal for his books, such as Martin's Big Words, Rosa, and Dave the Potter. He's also won the Coretta Scott King Award several times. This book is a winner of that. Also his books, Rosa, Dave the Potter, and Knock Knock. And then not only has he won that award 3 times, but he's also had 3 runner-up books. Bryan really enjoys going to school still. He really loves visiting the children. He continues to amaze us with his illustrations and his writing. By telling his stories through his art, he really just continues to inspire the children around the world, and that's just what he really loves to do.